My name is Arda, and this is my presentation for the week 2 of listening and pronunciation course. I will be presenting to you about delivering your presentations. Let's get started. In this presentation, I will be talking about mindfulness, preparing yourself for a presentation, and presentation delivery techniques. Mindfulness is a meditation technique that focuses on attention on your physical and mental relaxation, aiming to get you to focus on your current physical state instead of being distracted or worried. I think you could say mindfulness is kind of like living in the moment instead of worrying about your future or past worries. And, you know, by doing breathing exercises, just relaxing yourself with everything that's around you, you can get ready to make a presentation without having anxiety or nervousness, I think you could say. The benefits of mindfulness contain becoming fully engaged in an activity and having your mind in the moment instead of worrying about, like I said, future or past worries. Reduced stress and anxiety because you're much more clear in your mind, I think you could say, and having less past and future worries, like I already said, since you're aware they don't have an effect at that moment. Like if something doesn't bother you or affect the way the situation you're in at that moment, I think it's very effective, and what you should be doing is just get them to another time and stop making them just tackle you on your way when you're doing something important. This is my comment about this topic. I haven't heard about mindfulness before I did this presentation, but it seems like an effective technique and I might use it on my future presentations. Now, preparing yourself for a presentation. When we prepare for a presentation, we should, make some things, check some boxes before we start, like practicing our presentation. For example, we should always keep in mind what we will be saying in this presentation before starting it. It's kind of like memorizing, but not exactly just uh, memorizing everything by word, because then you will just get more confused, in my opinion. And learning about the setup of your location, this is more like knowing who you're presenting to, and like having an information about what the audience is like. I think uh, if you're in a formal place, then you should be preparing a presentation that you will be doing in a more formal manner. And if you're in a more like a place with your peers, like I am with other students, I think it's kind of like more clear but not too strict with our presentation. Complete a mindfulness exercise before your presentation. This is like there was a breathing exercise in the MOOC that can help you clear your mind, like just breathing, keeping your mind only focused on what you're doing at that moment, and just clearing your mind. Relax yourself mentally and physically. This is kind of connected to the mindfulness. Like you should just be relaxed, not think about other things. Physically relaxing yourself by maybe doing like some stretches before you start your presentation. You should always be in this stable manner, in a stance, like in a posture, but you should always like also be flexible, I think I can say, when you're presenting, because you have to move around a lot. You have to tire yourself to have an effective presentation. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about that. Remember your presentation. You can use different techniques to remember your presentation, such as memorizing your entire script so you can minimize the use of filler words, or using small cues to help you keep the flow of your presentation. I think minimizing the entirety of your presentation is not really a good idea, but giving yourself small cues like sentences to remind you of what you were about to say, or you know, put some images, which I actually didn't do much of in this presentation, but it wasn't really necessary. You could, put something, just put something to make you remember what you were about to say, so you don't have to like say unnecessary words, sentences. Just say what you have to say at that moment. Now to presentation delivery techniques. First of all, it's non-verbal communication. A big part of our communication is actually non-verbal. We use our body and face to express ourselves without words. Some examples of non-verbal communication include facial expressions, eye contact, and gestures. Now, when we're talking, just in our daily life, out of a presentation is even like a big part of it is moving our hands, our body, our facial expression, keeping eye contact, keeping a good posture. I think we could say we should always be keeping in mind that we are not only talking when we're communicating, and this is very important for presentations too. We should keep eye contact with who we're presenting to or talking to. We should always not stand like a statue when we're talking. We should move around, make the audience feel what we're talking about, I think. Yeah, and that's it. Body language. I already mentioned it, but body language is also, like I said, a really big part of it. We unintentionally give signals with our body that show our intention and feelings. We also transfer these feelings to our audience. This is why keeping appropriate posture is important. When you're in front of an audience and you're presenting, you should always be keeping a formal, I think, posture, and not like slouch or just stand there, not break eye contact with your audience. Always look confident. You should have your shoulders up straight, but like not trying to, stretch yourself so much that you will look uncomfortable, because like I said in the text, you will transfer your feelings to your audience, and if you're comfortable, your audience is going to be comfortable. But if you're like in this stressful position, maybe you're like nervous, the audience is also actually gonna get that feelings themselves. Using the full potential of our body language is really important for a powerful presentation. We can no we should be doing the most we can when we're presenting, because like I said in the previous slides, we are not only talking when we're presenting, but we're like moving around, making the audience feel what we're feeling. And it's really important to give the message by using our body instead of just our voice. Now to using our voice. Our voice is what brings your presentation to life. Using vocal techniques can help you give a powerful speech. You should always keep your voice powerful enough to reach your audience, but also you should tone it just right for your presentation and give the right message and use the right tone for the right message. And there are some techniques to do that. We can use cadence, the modulation of inflection of your voice. This is like keeping a steady rhythm when we're presenting. This is very important, because it I think orders the, how can I say this, flow of our presentation. Breath is using your breath to support your voice. We should always be keeping a steady breath when we're presenting. not run out of breath, not like use our no have our voice to be like very raspy, if that's possible, of course. We should be clear and use our breath to support our voice to an even higher level. Projection is speaking loudly and clearly. We, like I said, have to make sure our audience hears us loud and clear, but without making it unnecessarily noisy. Tone is expressing your meaning through your voice. This is like if I'm doing a presentation about something that's serious, of course I have to have a serious tone, but if I am presenting about something I think that's a bit more relaxed, as in a context, I think I can use a bit of a relaxed voice myself, because if I just use the same I think you could say stoic tone, it will not give the right message to your audience. Pitch is varying your voice high and low. This is especially important when you are in front of an audience. Like, I'm not in front of an audience, I'm just speaking to a camera right now, but when you have an audience in front of you, you should like make stress points in important parts of your speech and get your voice higher or lower, in I mean, depending on what you're saying at that moment. Diction is the clarity of your words. You should always, I mean, of course, there's like differences in your accents, and everyone has a different speaking type, I think I could say. But making sure that people hear your words loud and clear while also understanding what you're saying is really important. The pace is the speed of your delivery, and that's like something that you should be making sure you're doing right, because if you go too fast, you will have a presentation that's unnecessarily short and also so fast that people just can't, I think about what you're saying and keep that in mind. So you won't have an effective presentation. But also, if you do it too slow, it won't be effective as when it was fast too, of course, because then people will get sleepy. They won't like pay attention to you because you take too long. You should always keep the uh, pace that you have to when you're presenting, depending on your context. Emphasis is using the words that express your intention. Uh, you always have to make sure that you are using the right words that you are meaning. Uh, like if I you make a presentation about, of course I'm doing now about one that's delivering a presentation, but if I use a wrong term to describe something, that would just be wrong, and I'll give both the wrong information and the wrong message to my audience, I think I can say. And that's all from me. Thank you for listening.